There are 9 gardening tricks that can take your work to the next level and produce incredible results. Find out how they work and why you absolutely must try them in this short video. For the first trick, never throw banana peels in the trash again after eating a banana. Instead, cut them into several small pieces because you can still use them in your garden. To do this, you should set aside a little soil around your plant, spread the small pieces of banana peel here, and then put some soil back on top. This is because banana peel contains potassium, calcium, and magnesium. Flowering shrubs and roses in particular benefit from this organic fertilizer. However, you should make sure that the bananas are organic so that they have not been sprayed. For the second trick, you should spread oat flakes in your garden. There are 2 different ways to do this. For the first, you should put some rolled oats in a bowl and add a little water. Now leave the whole thing to soak. When the oats are really soaked and a little mushy, they have the perfect consistency. Now you can spread them out on a plate and take them out into your garden. You should now place this plate somewhere near your plants or your vegetable patch. There is also a second option. For this, you should spread the loose oats in your garden without soaking them first. However, it is particularly important that you do this in a place where you have no vegetables or plants. This is because you can use it to create a so-called sacrificial bed. Of course, this only works if you have enough space in the garden, otherwise you will have to use the first option with the plate. The advantage of this is that snails are attracted to it. If you find them on the plate, you can simply move them to another place and make sure they don't eat your vegetables. And I'm absolutely sure you've never poured washing up liquid into your garden hose. This is a really ingenious trick. Grab your garden hose and pour a small amount of washing up liquid into it, because when you turn it on now, not only will the water come out, but also a small amount of detergent. This is particularly helpful if you want to clean your garden furniture, for example. This means you don't have to prepare an extra bucket of detergent water, but have it directly in the garden hose and get the furniture clean again really quickly and easily. And do you already know the incredibly simple method for removing green deposits from your paving stones very quickly? All you need is a liter of water and 1.5 tablespoons of washing soda. If you need larger quantities, you simply have to adjust the quantities. Now pour it into a spray bottle. If you have a larger area to work on, you will of course need to use a slightly larger spray bottle so that you can distribute it better. You can now go out to your paving stones and spray them once with this mixture. It should also not be raining. You need to leave it on for about 4 to 5 hours, then grab a brush with harder bristles. You can also use a scrubbing brush for larger areas. Now get the surface a little wet with fresh water, and then you can start rubbing it over these surfaces. And then you can immediately see that all the green deposits have been removed. Finally, rinse again with clean water and the paving surface is free again. You can also get washing soda from my store. The link can be found below in the video description. And the patio is clean again. But not just the patio, because this trick also works on other surfaces. As you can see here, you can also use it on wood. Whether it's a wooden patio or a wooden garden fence like this, just spray it on, leave it to work for a while, and then simply wipe over it a few times with a brush like this with harder bristles. And here you can see relatively quickly that all the green coating has been removed and the wood looks really nice and clean again. And if you have bought some new plants that you want to plant in pots, you should first take the plant out of this plastic pot and then put this plastic pot into your planter. Because if you put it in here now, it will be much easier to put the soil around it without the plant getting in the way. Now take this pot out and you have the perfect hole for the plant to fit into. All you have to do is put it in, press it down a little on the sides, and you've made it much easier to plant. One of the most annoying things after gardening is cleaning the shovel again. But there's an ingenious trick for doing this much less. All you need is baby oil. Put some on a cloth and wipe your garden tools with it. You shouldn't end up with a thick, oily layer, just a thin film. The advantage of this is that your garden tools will be much cleaner and dirt will no longer stick to them so easily, so you don't have to clean everything so much afterwards. And if there is always far too much water coming out of your watering can, or the water jet is simply too big for your small plants, then you should grab a spoon and 3 cable ties. Now wrap the spoon under the opening of the watering can using the cable ties, as you can see here. You can now simply cut off the excess ties. If you now fill your watering can with water, you will be able to dose it much better and it won't come out with such a strong jet. Because as you can see here, when I water my flowers with it now, I can distribute everything here really wonderfully well, quickly and easily. And you should also definitely try laying out corks in your garden in very specific places. You can either glue several corks together to form a semicircle with the help of some hot glue so that you can push them together later and create a complete circle, or simply cut a cork into several thin slices if you only have a few corks available. And you can now place these around your plants, and there's a very special reason for this. The whole thing is actually particularly helpful in your vegetable patch, because here you can simply place the individual pieces of cork around your vegetables or your crops in general to keep various animals away. Snails, among others. Due to the rough surface of the corks, snails don't like walking on them at all and will therefore turn around. So you can also keep snails out of your vegetable patch. And if you still want to know how you can remove weeds from stone joints relatively effortlessly, then be sure to watch the video you see on the screen now. Click directly on it.